to 15 seconds of deathly YouTubing. But this is probably going to be something good to show. Something good to show for the first 10, 15 seconds of the YouTubing. Why? Because it's Hollywood Disney magic. And this thing is pretty cool. Look, it's like a case, but it's got cookies in it. Could it be any better? It's just so good. So this was a really awesome gift that we got. And start off the day today. It's going to be a little bit different than most other days. Why? Because when you get an amazing gift like this, I thought I'd just show you guys what insides look like. And, well, there's nothing in this, but this is what it looks like on the inside. There's this kind of cookie and this kind of cookie. And I think that this one on the left may just be a chocolate chip. And we ran out of these ones because we love them so much. And we didn't realize that we had a second group of things on the bottom. So there's no divider on this thing right now, but there is a divider in the middle. So on the top, you had these cookies over here. They were like a golden brown, a beautiful golden brown. And this, on the other hand, we still have these, so I can open one for you guys to see, which is really cool. The others have all been eaten. They were just so yummy, incredibly yummy that they got finished. And this, oh my gosh, chocolate chip, such a good cookie. Anybody want a cookie? Cookies are the best. Anyway, I'm gonna put this away because I wouldn't want to ruffle any feathers. But anyway, this is really cool. Really cool. I love how they package this thing. So it looks like a suitcase, but inside you have cookies. Yum. Yum. Anyway, one of my comments would be that these cookies were pretty much, and you're not allowed to say stuff like this anymore on YouTube, which is a good or a bad thing. I don't know. Some people will have different opinions on that. I'm not going to sway any of the two ways. I'm just going to show you what I thought about it. Anyway, this sauce, by the way, is also really good. You can get this from Costco. Is it as good as it says? Yes, it's as good as it says. And that's why I'm telling you guys about it today. Anyway, before we jump into my favorite books of all time, 1 and 2, I have a question for you guys. And that is, were you raised to be a beta woman, beta man? Or were you raised to be an alpha man, woman, or whatever? It's not a good topic, but it's a good topic to think about because, you can't really fight too much when you're young and you're growing up. You get programmed to be one way or another. And if your parents raise you to be a competitive alpha, chances are you're going to be a competitive alpha unless you are just naturally that way, which in some cases you are, and you may be trying to get out of your situation and become the alpha that you wanted to be. And in some cases you may be, your parents may be pushing you to be an alpha, but you are just a beta. And so that can happen, right? For instance, my dad, for instance, was naturally left-handed, but his parents wanted him to unify, to comply with, just generally society. And so I'm not saying beat the hell out of, but I would say they definitely try to sway him in every possible way and forced him to become a right-handed man. Of course, as soon as he was no longer under the thumb of his parents, he went back to being left-handed. But the damage in some ways had already been done in a way, if you think about it, if you are naturally a left-handed human being and you are forced to be right-handed the whole time, that kind of messes with the way that you do things. It's kind of funny. My dad was left-handed. My mom was right-handed. I am ambidextrous. Ambidextrous. Nobody forced me to do either of them. I kind of went with what schooling did, but then I feel pretty comfortable with my left hand doing pretty much any other activity that I do with the right. So that is just luck. But in the old days, the left hand was considered to be, especially in European society, I'm not sure why, but the hand of the devil was the left hand. So, people. Isn't it just much easier to be an animal? Animals don't have all these ridiculous things that they do to hate on each other. So if you're different, there's all this hate that just is so, and it comes from ignorance. That's what it comes from. But anyway, so you can't really do much about how you were programmed, but you can do the best that you can to change your programming after you're no longer under your parents' thumb or whatever. In some cases, under your company's thumb, right? Sometimes you're forced to do a job for a company that you didn't like. So when you finally can find a better job, you can finally get out of that. And a lot of people end up in jobs that they don't like, where they're treated like garbage. So they spend a lot of time trying to get out of that. And some people are unlucky and they're stuck with that job forever. So anyway. How did you guys like yesterday's episode? Was it good? Was it bad? Leave a comment. Leave a comment. Anyway, let's jump into this. Oh, actually, there's a space got freed up over there. This is not my favorite spot because I don't usually get as much light as I'd like here. So what I am going to do is, oh wait, somebody just take the spot that I wanted? No, they took the spot that's next to the spot that I wanted. This is the spot that just doesn't get as much light as I like. So we are family. Do my brothers and sisters come with me? Whatever. I don't know that song. Accident lawyers. Let's try not to get into an accident, so we don't need accident lawyers. We don't want that. What I'm gonna do is to go back and find myself that nice spot that I love right there. Go do a nice rear parking over there in the spot that I like. It's just warmer over there. You just get more sun, and we love the sun. Yeah. Some rear parking is always some good rear parking to do. Yeah, look at that. The sun in my face. I like it. You probably don't like it. You're going to run away from the sun being nice square in your face. I'm just not that guy. I like to have light. I know what you're going to say, but you're the devil. You're the peskiest, most conniving son of a gun ever to live. And yet I like light. I like light. One of the things that I did not like back in the day when I was a technology professional, if you will, was that a lot of the work that you need to do is cooped up in a spot where there's no light. Like if you're trying to do color correction and stuff like that, or you're trying to do rendering for animation studios, you're going to be in a dark room of death with barely any light, making sure that all the shots that you've taken in 3D or whatever, or maybe you were in a dark room to develop films. Back in the day you had films, now we have digital everything, but I guess some companies still use film. I don't know. And for those companies that still use film, you're going to have to be in a dark room all day. Is that the job that you want? Can you live an entire life in a job where you're working in a dark room? Are you hideous? No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, so I am hideous. I am hideous enough to do a lot of things. Oh, by the way, just thought I'd tell you guys. Do you have a handle on life? Do you have a handle on life? Recently, YouTube has handles for you on YouTube. I mean, I always thought I had a handle on YouTube, but apparently this is a new feature. So now we have handles, and if you're extra lucky, you might have multiple handles. By the way, Corky seems to be pretty good. Let's see if it works better than the other handle that I bought. The other handle that I bought, oh snap. The other handle that I bought a long time ago. This is the Corky instruction manual. Snapped, like right there. This thing was attached somehow. It's so brittle. Look, I'm gonna show you guys. This kind of plastic handle was so brittle. Look, it's creating dust particles when I try to remove this bit. And you know, like the thread here. Look at this, dust particles being created by the thing. In epically bad marker review style, I lost the piece during the demonstration. There. Oh, look, it's almost like snow, but in the car. Anyway. Do you have a handle on your life? I don't know. The instruction manuals are pretty straightforward. There's even Steven here. There's even Steven. A QR code that you guys can take a look at should you be interested in checking it out for your Apple devices, I think. I don't know. It could be Android. I don't know. Does it say Android? Mansfield's brand tower-style toilets. And if you guys remember, I bought a toilet seat that was Mansfield. We love them fields, us men. Some of us who are very ballsy. Anyway, it's a little plug there. All right, let's go. So today what we're going to be creating is a circuit organ. That sounds fun. And we're gonna teach about, we're gonna read the book about circuit organs at the tune of But don't you guys love the smell of freshly cut grass? Apparently some people hate it. I actually kind of like it. I've always kind of liked it. I don't know. It's hard these days. But anyway, someday, there's a recent song that I was just listening to on the radio, and I think it's quite recent because I don't know the name of it. I don't know who sings it. And it showed up, I think it was on either K-Frog or Country 105. And I don't even know the lyrics, but it was along the lines of, you know, if the future generations are not going to be good generations of people, and the men and the women are not going to be courteous, you know, if friendliness and kindness and all that stuff suddenly goes out the window and becomes all about the money, which it has already gone very much towards that. It's gone that route pretty heavily. Then the guy says in the song, then I'd rather be in heaven by then, hopefully. So anyway, it's not going to be the case for me. Because only the good die young, right? Only the good die young. And so, being that I am so pesky, conniving, and son of a gunny, good chances are that I'll probably make it to 200, 300. I don't know. I'll have to ask Donald Duck. If after taking the booster or the vaccine or the hydrochloroquine, I don't know, something like that. It's a tongue twister. If he felt 20 years, 30 years, 200 years younger, I don't know. The things I'd like to ask Joe Obama. But what's the point? Because he doesn't remember. Hey, Joe Obama. Are galactics real? Will you tell us? Will you disclose whatever? He's like, what? What were we talking about? I don't know. It's hard. It's hard whether you're into the one side politicians or the other side politicians. I don't know. Is there a point? Is there a point in asking them questions they promised to tell you about? They just wouldn't tell you. They wanted to tell you during the time that they were campaigning. Once they got in office, it's like, what? Oh, did I say that I was going to do that? All right, circuit organs. Circuit organs, they have nothing. Don't worry. We are not going to do any dissecting today. It's all about circuit boards. Look. We're not dissecting anything today. It's very kid-friendly. Very kid-friendly. So, circuit organs. In electronic music, each musical note is produced by an electric current oscillating, moving back and forth. The more rapidly the current oscillates, the more high-pitched the sound is. In this project, you'll make a circuit that produces electronic music with switches that play different notes when you press them. A series of resistors determines the pitch of the note in the organ. The note that organ produces when a switch is pressed. This is kind of a cool thing. It's got a lot of them push buttons. Push buttons. I'm big on push buttons. I'm big on pushing people's buttons, but in a sort of kinder way maybe than some of the others on the YouTube and social media. I try to be a little bit less mean and distasteful, if you will. I wouldn't say classy. But a little less mean. Anyway, a series of resistors determines the pitch of the note the organ produces when a switch is pressed. At the control center of the organ is an integrated circuit, IC, which produces the oscillating electric current. Oh, this is cool. A lot of the things that you'll see here in this picture can easily be found when you buy yourself one of those Arduino kits. One of those cool Arduino kits. You can find all of this cool stuff that you see here in a lot of those Arduino kits that you can get from Micro Center. Micro Center may be the last computer store where you can just go in and buy stuff today. Otherwise, you have to sort of depend on like the big Walmarts and Targets and stuff like that. They don't really have, at least that I know of, I don't think there are any places around here in Irvine, like the moms and pop stores that used to love going to those places. I even had a friend back in the day when I lived in Milan who was the owner of one of these computer stores, and he would service some of our computers and stuff. But mostly I'd go there to buy bits and pieces to personally install in the equipment that I had, like PCs and stuff. So I was very into all that stuff. And so I was basically the tech, if you will, at my house. So I would fix my dad's computer all the time. I would fix my mom's computer all the time. And that was before they had laptops. Or if they had laptops, they were so expensive. And I think there was maybe one in the house that was my dad's. But, nobody was really supposed to touch any of that stuff. So later on, when I got pretty good at fixing computers and changing out audio cards, graphics cards, RAM, the whole shebang, I could change out the motherboard if needed, and keep the PC case and all that stuff. It was fun. It was fun times. Fun times. I don't do that anymore. 'Cause who's got the time for that? And also, I just prefer the little pads these days. The little pads. So, how to make a circuit organ. All the components of the organ are inserted into a breadboard. If the wires of your battery pack and sounder are stranded, you will need to tin them with a soldering iron before you begin. So this one is this is going to be a really easy project, or so they say. It says 25 minutes. So if you're in a classroom, you probably want double that. I'm not going to do the math for you. Work it out, or just get your calculator and do 25 times 2, or just write 25 plus 25. Take your pick. What's your best way to do it? I don't know. Difficulty level is going to be easy on this project, or so they say. Here, it says right there, just in case you thought I was lying to you. I try not to. Sometimes I'll just get it wrong. It's different. The intention was to tell you something good, and then I just made a mistake in the peskiest way possible. What you need from the toolbox: wire cutters, and that's it. That's it. The rest is a bunch of cool things, such as a 9-volt battery pack, which happens to be my friend Steve's favorite go-to way to power things. I personally like the AA batteries and stuff because they're just easier to find. I don't think there's one place out there, like main store, like Walmart or anything that has tech in it, that's not going to have AA batteries. Sometimes the 9-volt batteries are a little bit harder to find. Anyway, then there's the mini tactile button switches, which I'll show you in a minute. There's the battery snap connector. There is the piezo buzzer, or piezo sounder in this case. Then we need a 100 NF capacitors. We need a 390 ohms resistor. We need a 620 ohms resistor. Well, there's a lot of ohms in this thing. So then we need one more 910 ohms resistor. We need a 1 kilo ohms resistor. We need a 1.1 kilo ohms resistor. We need a 1.3 kilo ohms resistor. We need a 6.2 kilo ohms resistor. We need a 555 timer IC. We need a solid core wire of 10 1/4 inches, which is 26 centimeters. If you don't want to do fractions, just go with the centimeters, guys. Then there's a 840 pin breadboard. Once you've gathered all of your equipment, please don't put any of those devices in your nose or your ears. It is bad practice to do that, and could lead to a teacher or a nurse having to get them out of your ears and nose. Just don't do that stuff. Come on, kids. The things the kids do in classrooms, you wouldn't believe. You wouldn't believe. Anyway, so push the 555 timer IC into the board with its rounded notch facing away from you, and with its corners legs in the holes for E49, F49, E52, and F52. Yeah, there's E52 and F52. Oh, so many things to do. Excuse me. All right, so, wow. So trim the legs of the capacitor so that it won't stand too high on the board. Then push the legs into the holes C49, C50, and it doesn't matter which way they go in. So in this case, the capacitor does not require a specific direction in which things go. At least that's what I read, right? That's what I read. Capacitor, yeah. Then it says cut 10 pieces of the solid core wire, each about 3/4 inch or 2 centimeters long, and 2 pieces of the 1 1/8 inches, which is 3 centimeters long. Then strip a 1/4 inches, which is 6 millimeters, off all the ends, and bend the stripped parts down at the right angles. Would you take a look at this? Look at that. That was step 1, 2, and 3. And we shall now turn the page to the other side. It then says to insert one of the short wires into the holes B5 and B11 of the breadboard. It says to make sure you press it down as far as it will go to ensure a good connection. If you don't go all the way down, there may be a faulty connection, in which case you will be then scratching your head for a few minutes trying to figure out why this thing didn't work. And if you have many, many different cables installed, that's not going to be fun because you're going to have to test each individual one by one by one. That could be frustrating. Push one of the button switches into the breadboard with its legs in holes E5, E7, F5, and F7. Using the breadboard map to the right, insert the stripped and bent ends of the wires into their position on the board. Cool. Next step, which is step 7, place the other button switches into the breadboard where shown. Make sure that each one is exactly 3 holes away from the one before. And now there's going to be a diagram of endless complication. But maybe it's not that complicated. So it wants one of the, and they're all going to be pretty much 3/4 inches, which is 2 centimeters wires. And so one of these is going to go in the A11 and A17. Another one is going to go in the B17 and B23. Another one of these is going to go in the A23 and A29. One more for the B29, B35. And another A35 and A41. Let's see, are those the same too? I guess there's more of these. But it is, the connection gets stopped at a second because you're going to be using one of the slightly longer ones, I guess, with it, which is 1/8 inches, which is 3 centimeters for this one wire. And this one goes between the B41 and the B50. Now there's going to be 2 more of these wires on this side of the breadboard, and they go into the negative row 49 and A49, as well as one wire goes in the D50 and G51. I'm going to show this thing to you so you guys can see. We're talking about all the numbers that I just discussed underneath here. It's all of these that I just discussed, all these ones on this side of the breadboard. Now we're going to talk about the other side of the breadboard. And here, you're going to have all the different switches. So you have switch, and it goes in E11, E13, F11, and F13. Why? Because these push switches have 4 endings, 4 little legs or whatever. So then you have the next switch, which is going to be E17, E19, F17, and F19. I'm not sure that it matters which way you turn it, so long as it fits through the holes correctly. Then it says switch. The next one is E23, E25, F23, F25. Bingo! No, we're not playing bingo. Switch, E35, E37, F35, F37. There's a plane, right? At the F35, there's a plane that's pretty cool like that. It didn't talk about the F22. But anyway, switch, there's one more switch, E41, E43, F41, F43. And then there's going to be more of those wires, but this is going to be, again, on the opposite side. We need a 3/4 inches or 2 centimeters wire. We need 2 of these. One goes in G44 and one goes in G50. One end goes in 149 and one positive row in 49. Is that I-45 though? Let me see. What the? I think it means... Wait. Yeah, no. Yeah. Yeah, it means I. It means I-49. And then the last one, as I said before, is a 1/8 inches, 3 centimeters 1 1/8 inches, which is 3 centimeters wire, and it goes into D52 and positive row 53. I'm going to show it to you guys real quick. Sometimes eyes can look like ones and stuff to the wrong kind of people. Ugh. All right. Last 4 steps. Oh, no, I'm wrong. There's another 4 steps after that. So this is only supposed to take about 25 minutes, but there's a lot of more steps than some of the other projects. So next it says you'll be pushing the resistors into the exact positions on the breadboard. You'll need to trim the legs to the correct length, but it's best to do this one by one as you can go, or as you go along, or as you go. Remember to bend the ends of the resistor's legs at the right angles to make them easier to insert into the board as you did with the lengths of solid core wire. Now, a lot of these things you can do by hand, but if you have a tool that makes it a lot easier to bend them nice and smoothly, sometimes when you bend with your fingers, if you don't have very big, fat, manly fingers, you may hurt your fingers, possibly even cut your fingers on some of the wires. It wouldn't be the first time that somebody did something like that. So anyway, remember to bend. So as I said before, bend the ends with that, and then insert the 1.3 kilo ohms resistor into the holes, and the I1 and I7. Is that right? Yes, okay. I1 and I7. Show you these 3 pictures here so you guys can see. Take a look at 8, 9, and 10. Unbelievable stuff. So now we're going to go through the second to last breadboard diagram thingy-majig. So using the breadboard map to the right, insert the trimmed and bent legs of the resistors into their positions on the board. It doesn't matter which way the resistors go. Okay. Nice to know. So 1.3 kilo ohms resistor goes in H7 and H13. The 620 ohms resistor goes in the I13 and I19. The 1.1 kilo ohms resistor goes in the H19 and H25. The 1 kilo ohms resistor goes in the I25 and I31. The 910 ohms resistor goes in the H31 and H37. The 390 ohms resistor goes in the I37 and I43. The 6.2 kilo ohms resistor H43 and H44. The 1 kilo ohms resistor I50 and positive row 50. Let me show you this beautiful picture. Oh, it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. It gets you excited about technology. No yawns, please, in the back of... I can see you in the back row there. In the back of the class. Whatever you're talking about in the back of the class, you should share with the rest of the group. We'd love to hear it. We want to be entertained too. Come on. Anyway. It was fun being a teacher. It was fun. Anyway, 12. Push the black wire of piezo sounder into the C51 and the red wire into the negative side of row 56. 56. The black wire goes into the hole closest to the red line. Fun. Snap the battery connector onto the battery and push its black wire into negative row 62 on the left side and the red wire into positive row 62 on the right side as shown. Your organ is now complete. Use it wisely. Pressing the button switches will cause the sounder to make a sound. Each switch you press produces a different musical note. Each switch completes a circuit causing a note to sound. Power from the battery is regulated by the series of resistors in each branch of the organ circuit. As I said before, All right, I'm going to show you the final. It's still not the final. It's the final countdown. Do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do. It's actually the final brain cell, but it's the final brain cell. Look how cool that is. It's a breadboard, but you can't eat it. But you can't eat it because it's not real bread. The lower the resistance, the higher the pitch. When you press the switch closest to the IC, you complete a circuit that includes only the 62 kilo ohms resistor, resulting in a high note. So this is a pretty cool thing. So each button completes a circuit with a different combined resistance each time. So this is one of the things that we talk about a lot in technology, is completing circuits. Completing circuits so that, I guess, electricity can pass through them. When you press the switch at the other end of the breadboard, you can connect a circuit that has a total resistance of more than 13 kilo ohms, resulting in a low note. The values of the resistors have been carefully chosen to make a complete scale of notes, one for each switch. This could be fun, right? Learn about music and stuff with technology, batteries, wires. Why isn't this so incredibly popular these days? It's just not. It's just not. The switch farthest from IC completes the longest circuit. It has the highest resistance, so produces the lowest pitch. Let's see what else we got. We got low pitched note sound, high pitched note sound, and there's a little diagram of how that looks. There's lots of, it's not squiggly lines, but there's a lot of right angles in those things. And it says how it works. The integrated circuit IC produces a series of electric pulses which cause the piezo sounder. I guess it's not a buzzer because it doesn't buzz. It will sound sounds. So it's a piezo sounder to produce the notes that you can hear. The more pulses per second, the more high-pitched the note. The total resistance of the resistors in a line determines the number of pulses the IC produces each second, and therefore the note. I'm excited. I'm going to go run around the lake and do a victory dance because this stuff is so exciting. Real-world inventions. Piano. A piano. Have you ever seen one of those? I don't know. I'm going to show you what it looks like. A piano. Are you guys excited about music? No, you're not excited about music. You're not excited about music. You're not excited about this stuff. You want to go watch the latest and greatest video on Andrew Tate. Yeah, Andrew Tate is so exciting. Don't you just want to grab Andrew Tate and all the other people that are so exciting and just have them on your wall? No. No. There are so much more fun things you could do in life that are not about Andrew Tate. Jeez. All right, so like your circuit organ, a piano produces different musical notes from high to low pitched. A piano produces sound when strings are made to vibrate by hammers that strike them with you when you hit a key. The shorter, thinner strings make higher pitched notes that the longer, thicker strings do. And so, anyway, true story. My dad had a grand, I think it was a grand piano. I can't be sure. You could ask her. I think my dad had a grand piano, which was amazing. It was beautiful. I believe it was a Yamaha. Anyway, amazing. And my mom donated it to a arts thing. So now some awesome people, musicians are getting to play this amazing instrument. And he was a big fan of piano and stuff. The electric piano if you will, the electronic piano, as well as the real thing itself. My dad was quite the musician. Unfortunately, I did not take from him at all. Like, the apple sometimes falls off the tree and gets damaged, but also ends down the ravine and keeps rolling and rolling and rolling and rolling. What you gonna do? What you gonna do with all that poo inside your shoe? Maybe clean it up. I'm not sure if you want to put it in the laundry machine. I mean, that'll be a party in of itself. Oh. Anyway, are we going to talk about a book? A book? Yes, it is. It's a book. It's a great book. It talks about a different style of kung fu that nobody really knows about because it's not popular. It's not popular. You guys all know of DK Wu. You guys all know of all the fake masters out there. DK Wu was your champion, wasn't he? You guys all know about Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee was pretty good, but off camera. Don't want to see any of his videos. Gosh, his videos. What do you do? Oh gosh, I don't want to see any of that. I would love to see if anybody has videos. I think there's one videos of him at a tournament, but if anybody has more videos of him back in the day when he was actually doing proper kung fu in gyms, that would be cool to see. That'd be cool to watch. Don't show me any of his videos. Gosh, videos. Horrible videos. Oh my gosh, that's not kung fu. Anyway, with that said, guys, let's take a look at Omei Wing Chun from the lineage of Yin Kai-san and Sum Nung. But let's remember there is still one living master today who is Grandmaster Tom Wong. And if you're lucky enough and you're willing enough to learn it's new to you. It's new to you. A new kung fu style that nobody really knows about. You guys could go to Monterey Park in California and learn from him or one of his students. Rodney, I know Rodney. I don't know the others. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of other certified teachers that have had the honor of being Grandmasters Tom Wong's disciple, therefore can teach the art that you can learn from too. But anyway, he also has a YouTube channel that nobody knows about and has been on national Chinese TV, but you guys wouldn't know about that either. So anyway, it says in the left pick, Secret of the Golden Flower. On the right pick, German translation of Secret of the Golden Flower. So I'm going to show you the books, what they look like, just in case you want to go on Amazon. I don't know if these are on Amazon, if you can buy any of these two books. But you know which book you can buy on Amazon? This one right here. It's The Secret Origin of Wing Chun, and I have to read it every time because I can't memorize the title. Can you believe that? I can. 2,200 years of training, history, philosophy, and development of ancient Chinese MMA, which stands for Mixed Martial Arts. Don't worry, it's none of that UFC garbage or MMA tournament stuff. Anyway. Later on, Richard Wilhelm taught a man named Wolfgang Ernst Polytaoism and meditation for health. They also discussed the meaning of life together. It changed Dr. Poly's life tremendously. Dr. Poly was an Australian theoretical physicist and one of the pioneers of quantum physics. Left pick, Dr. Willem. Right pick, Dr. Poly. And some Chinese text underneath. And again, if anybody wants to help us out and read out, if you are a Chinese human, or you are just a Chinese scholar, or you just human of any other origin that knows how to speak Chinese and want to make a video on how to say the things that I can't because I don't. You can help the channel, but you won't. And I could put out these videos for the next 200 years. I'll probably be around for the next 200 years. And they still won't. That's going to be the fun of it. Oh, if only I hadn't upset the YouTube algorithm. If only I hadn't done that. Who cares? Who cares? Seriously. YouTube algorithm. In addition, from the 1212 AD, which means AD. Advanced demographics. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Advanced demographics. Anyway. What about BF? Boyfriend, of course. BF and BFF. Or best friends forever. Anyway, so on Genghis Khan and his grandson Kublai Khan, the first emperor of the Yuan dynasty, practiced Taoism under the guidance of Taoist priest named Chu Ji? I don't know. This is where your help would be much useful. Oh, Year of the Lord. Okay, somebody came in to help out. That's cool. Awesome. Charles the Great is here. Thank goodness. So Chu Ju, I can't do this. Ji was disciple of Wang Chongyang, who was a disciple of Lu Dongbin. All right, so we're going to go into the diet and nutrition right here. Real quick. Diet and exercise are the primary components that affect our physical and mental well-being. As Taoists understood this concept very well, they practiced martial arts and studied medicine since the Stone Age. They also conducted research and experimented with different diets to improve their health. Both Taoists and Westerners have a common saying, "We are what we eat." Many Chinese emperors have sought longevity and eternal life. This includes Qin Shi Huang, the founder of the Qin dynasty and emperors from Genghis Khan's Yuan dynasty. I had a friend by the name of Yuan, and I just could never pronounce his name. Anyway, so in this picture that you're about to see, this photo is a photo in 1927 of Li Qingwan, a Chinese herbal doctor and Taoist who lived to 256 years of age. I'll probably be around there too. Because I promise you, I'm going to outlive all of my haters. When Li Qingwan was 200 years old, he still went around giving lectures at universities. His story has been documented in both Chinese and Western newspapers, and Western scholars have been intrigued by the secrets of his longevity. Here be the guy, right here. I do not know if he still lives today, but I'm sure that he outlived most of his haters too. Ha ha. Around 210 BC, Qin Shi Huang sent, and again, guys, I need to trigger warning and warn the algorithm. I am not about to say the F word. No, somebody can actually be called chew fuck right here. Chew fuck. So please don't disable the video. Anyway, so as I was reading, around 210 BC, Qin Shi Huang sent Chu Fok to Japan to search for longevity herbs and ingredients that could make him undying. Sounds pretty fun, right? Sounds pretty fun. According to the story, Chu Fok knew the herbs that could turn Qin Shi Huang undying did not exist, and that this was an impossible mission. Hey, let's call my better-looking brother Tom Cruise and have him do one of these missions. Although I'm pretty sure that he will outlive most of his haters too. And you're thinking, but wait a second. What if more and more haters keep, spawning over and over, like in the video games, like in Unreal Tournament game engine, which I used to teach? Well, I'm sure he'll just keep going and going, right? Because he will become undying, the undead. Anyway, so therefore he requested 3,000 young boys and 3,000 girls to go along with him. He did not return to China after this trip. Oh, that seems like a pretty fun. That seems like a pretty fun tour. 3,000 young boys and 3,000 young girls. I'm pretty sure nothing went wrong on that journey. So researchers believe that Chu Fok became the first emperor of Japan. There has been evidence that supports this hypothesis. It has also been hypothesized that 7 of his students became governors of 7 states. Diet is a very important part of a martial artist's daily regimen, as it has a direct effect on martial arts progress. My first teacher, Sifu Lu Ji Kem, was renowned for living to 118 years old. Even at his advanced age, he was able to perform his kung fu forms smoothly and at full force. In 2012, he passed away after an accidental fall from the 2nd floor. Okay. I don't know. There's not enough research on this. It'd be interesting to know why he fell off that floor, but I'm not sure that this book is going to tell you. You can Google it. Sifu Lu always made sure he ate a lot of animal protein for breakfast. At one point, and 3 big bowls of rice every morning. Eventually, that turned to eating 3 eggs, 3 meat buns, and a bowl of milk every morning. This seems to be very similar to the diet that a lot of people like, I don't know, maybe like even Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone, a lot of the bodybuilders will eat a bunch of eggs. Some even will have those raw for breakfast. Lots of hormones. Anyway, his diet was a sharp contrast against Steve Jobs' vegetarian diets. So if you see, that's a complete opposite of what Steve Jobs is doing. The argument between eating a red meat diet versus a vegetarian diet is similar to the argument between training in a soft martial arts style and training in a hard style of martial arts. The key is what best suits an individual's body. One person can drink an entire bottle of vodka and not get drunk. I'm one of those people. But it does not mean that everyone else who drinks a similar sized bottle of vodka will not get drunk. Exactly. My dad, you gave him a couple of sips of red wine, and he'd be like flying around the room. Anyway, so in addition, as a person ages, his body will go through different changes, and his diet must be adjusted accordingly. Likewise, in Kung Fu practice, it is all about understanding our body and what we can do best. Most of us have difficulty understanding what our body needs and what is good for us, especially when we exercise physically or mentally all day. Sometimes a small and simple problem can cause a chain reaction or build up to create a big problem. For example, we might not be aware that our body is low in iron or calcium and not do anything to add more iron or calcium in our diet. Other times, we may think that we can just eat something rich in iron, drink milk, or take iron supplements to recover. However, results can vary from one individual to another. Excuse me. So, you must figure out your own way and set up a diet that works for you and your body. You might do great on the vegan diet, but you might not do great on the vegan diet. Some people completely get depleted or something. And for instance, if you work out all day long you can't eat as much as you would if you're just sitting on the couch all day, right? One lifestyle doesn't support the other lifestyle, right? So be careful. If you are working on your feet all day long doing exercise, you're gonna have to eat more than you would if you're just sitting on the couch all day. And if you eat the same amount that you will if you're very active and just sitting on the couch all day, you're gonna get fat. I mean, there's just no way around it. So anyway, Taoists believed that the 5 internal organs are related to each other, and small problem could eventually lead to another problem if it's not fixed. In addition, even though symptoms may appear in one area of the body, the root of the problems might originate from another area of the body. On one occasion, I told my big and strong student who had asthma that if he did not change his diet and fix the problem, he would end up in a wheelchair by his mid-30s. He laughed and shrugged his shoulders. Unfortunately, my warning came true. I felt sad to see someone so bright and successful ruin his life because of a small problem. Again, you can have people who will do the best that they can to get over their disabilities, and you'll have the other people who will just sit and just and wallow in their self-pity and just do nothing about it. For instance, my chiropractor said, if you don't do something about stretching and possibly dieting and all bunch of other things, you will be in a wheelchair because you have bow legs, and bow legs lead to all kinds of other issues. And I already had other problems with my shoulders and back and all that stuff. If you don't get up and do something now, not tomorrow, not the next day, if you don't do something right now. This was back in the day when I was still in the UK. In the UK, I was still at Canterbury, Kent, where I did my first master's degree. My first master's degree over there. And yeah, the chiropractor was very clear. He said, if you don't do something right now about your exercise, stretching, and diet, you will be in a wheelchair by age 40. Hey, look, I'm 40. I'm not in a wheelchair. It really depends on what you do. So, Grandmaster Tom Wong told one of his students, look, if you don't do this, that, the other, you will be in a wheelchair. And the guy ended up in a wheelchair. Furthermore, what you eat and when you eat it are very important. I often see young students train hard, but see little improvements to their health and physique in comparison to the effort that they put in. So he says, people train martial arts for different reasons. Some try to lose weight, while others try to improve strength and stamina. Nevertheless, these goals might be hindered by a poor diet or a diet that is not suitable for them. People can eat a lot, but their body might still cry for more nutrition. The food that converts into our blood directly affects our body's well-being and performance and the aging process. It is also common to see students have no appetite in the morning because their stomach is not yet awake. My grandmother used to always say there was this old Italian saying. It says, "La fame vien mangiando," which means you must put something in the tank, in the body, and then that will start off your appetite. So if you put nothing in the bank, you put nothing in the tank, your body might not want to eat anyway, so you might have no appetite at all. So the body needs nutrition to start a long day of work. This is especially true for martial artists. In general, our physical training requires consuming a good amount of iron, calcium, minerals, and protein in the morning. So our body has a whole day to convert and use the energy. In contrast, people that skip breakfast or protein in the morning cause their body to feel tired most of the day. Again, this really depends on person to person. For instance, me, I'm a fat vegan. I don't have my abs and stuff. I'm overwatered and I'm overfed. So if I skip breakfast and don't eat whatever, I can still go through the day. Again, my lifestyle doesn't really require me to be on my feet lifting heavy objects all day long. So for me, that's fine. I can do that. But if I was to be training Kung Fu all day long, I would need a breakfast. Otherwise, I would not be able to get through the day. And I would be very tired come lunchtime. I'd be exhausted, and everyone else would be running circles around me. So then, when their body becomes desperate for food, in the evening, they eat a big meal that sits all night in their digestive tract when they sleep or do not need it. Also, if you eat very late and drink very late, you will develop acid reflux over time. It's not something that I'm saying. One of the things that I struggle with as I do the things that I do is sometimes you're with your family and other people are eating, and you don't really want to have a big dinner, but sometimes you just, it's everyone's having fun, everybody's stuff. So you'll eat and you'll drink close to bedtime. That's not good. That's not good. You could fall into the trap of getting acid reflux. So the body then stores this meal as fat instead of turning it into energy that should have supported them through the day. So again, if you eat very close to bedtime, you're not using the food, the energy that you have just eaten, and so you sleep, and that whatever things that you had, whether it was, because you could have a lot of sugary stuff in your drinks too, that instantly goes into your fat and not as a nutrition to build your muscles or whatever, or replenish what you were missing. On the other hand, our five emotions also affect our five organs. In some cases, no matter what we eat, the result is not ideal. For example, stress can negatively affect stomach enzymes and stomach function. If a person constantly experiences a high level of stress, even a good balanced diet might not bring the person's body back into balance or to healthy state. In contrast, a person living a simple lifestyle and a good physical condition can temporarily overcome the negative effects of a bad diet. Providing what our body needs when it needs the most can ensure our physical progress. This is the reason Taoists utilize our emotional state to counter-resolve our stress-related body healing process. When my teacher, Sifu Chen Yi-ju, was in his 80s, he demonstrated his iron shin by withstanding a hit from a chisel and 10-pound sledgehammer at a Japanese stadium with over 1,000 people in the audience. This shows that the bone density and the amount of calcium in his bones was had extraordinary levels and much higher than most people. See picture. There's no picture here, but anyway. One's diet is extremely important, especially when training. In addition, our physical well-being affects our mental condition. Many students who want to advance further in their training must obtain new understandings of their own body. Very cool, very cool. Anyway, one thing that you will notice is a lot of people do certain jobs, and some jobs may not pay as well as some other jobs, but because their stress levels are less than in other jobs, they continue to do that particular job because it keeps them healthy for longer. You'll notice that a lot of yoga instructors and stuff, or just fitness instructors, keep doing what they're doing. It keeps them happy and healthy, which in turn gives them a longer life as well as a healthier lifestyle. So that's one thing that people think about and should maybe think about. Anyway, with all of that said, guys, we're going to leave it there today. We still have a few pages in this book, which is cool. I'm really enjoying reading this book. It is very well written, but there is no argument there because what could you possibly expect from Charles the Great? Charles the Great, who helped Grandmaster Tom Wong express his feelings, emotions, and incredible teachings and put them into English words. Anyway, with all that good stuff, there's lots of other people that I've mentioned in previous live streams and videos on this here channel that you guys can go check out. There's a whole bunch of amazing people that worked very hard to bring this book to Amazon, where now you can go and buy it whenever you wish to. And so with that said, guys, I wish you guys a fantastic rest of your day. Thank you for showing up and watching the show. And if you're disappointed, there's nothing I can do about it, because after all, I am a pesky, conniving son of a gun. And most people don't get away with what they do on YouTube if it hadn't been for that pesky, conniving son of a gun Mark Reviews. With that said, please go and get yourself this cool book. It is on Amazon. Go check out Grandmaster Tom Wong's YouTube channel, because nobody's seen it. And with that, I'll see you tomorrow.